Welcome back, kiddies, to another episode of RatG TV with your hosts, Zeus and the Welland Wingnut. And they thought I was the crazy one.
Black magic. You got to know, got to show, it's on the road. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want, so just tell me what you want to hear.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of RatG TV. It's your boy Zeus, and joining me as he does each and every week, it's my heterosexual life mate. That's right, the one and only Welland Wingnut, Steve Lambert. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Good. I hear you got us all a little gift this week.
I did.
Well, what's this big gift that you're handing out to the fans this week?
I don't know because we didn't pre-plan this.
I mean, I just try to put them on a tee for you, buddy. I try to put them on a tee for you.
Yeah, we got something special in store for everybody this week. Making his full-length feature directorial debut, Mr. Kenneth Lui. We're going to talk about his career. This guy has been involved in so many huge franchises, from Primates of the Caribbean. I mean, maybe, but definitely Pirates of the Caribbean, Transformers. Just the list goes on. But Mr. Kenneth Lui, how you doing?
Good to be here.
Thanks for being here. And I got to tell you, Pirates of the Caribbean, very cool. But Primates, that would be something. I'm telling you, Primates of the Caribbean. I smell
Primates of the Caribbean.
I smell Blockbuster.
Yeah, you can do a crossover with the Apes trilogy there.
Right. The director of Sharknado is watching this right now going,
yes, come my way. And now you know someone who could work there.
Luke, how you doing?
Our buddy Luke checking in. Is Kenny from South Park? Wrong Kenny. And Deanna Hurst. How's it going? Long time no see, Deanna. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks for joining.
This is great for you coming in, Kenneth. And you're in here to promote your new movie as well.
Mm-hmm.
But before we talk about that, give the fans at home your origin story. How did we get to here?
My origin story? I mean, how far back do you want me to start? Because first there was darkness, and then the Big Bang happened. I mean, how far back do you want to go?
All right. Well, let's start with when your career started.
Okay. So I was in college, right? And I went to Art Center College of Design, and went to their film program. And so that's where I learned all about filmmaking, and it was a very comprehensive program. Graduated with a thesis film, did festivals with it. It was called Falsehood, and that got some attention and won some awards. With that one, I put the Big Bad Wolf on trial for what he did to Red Riding Hood. And it was a very, it's like fantasy, but it's like a trial movie, unflinchingly serious trial movie with it. I say serious, but it was also tongue in cheek as well. But yeah, no, it was a fun project. So after I graduated, then I was just making a living as a teacher when a buddy of mine said, hey, from college, said, hey, who worked in VFX, and said, hey, I think you'd do well because you have a good artistic eye. And plus, it would be helpful to know VFX for your filmmaking. And I couldn't argue with him. So he started teaching me kind of like at home, and he took me under his wing, and kind of like Kill Bill, when she's like just practicing on a piece of wood by herself. Yeah. That's kind of like how I did it. And just he would tutor me at his house, and then I would practice at home. And then when I felt confident enough, then I started. I applied for jobs, and then my first gig was Terminator Salvation. So that was really kind of poetic, because Terminator was my favorite movie, and that's kind of what got me interested in film altogether. So that was a nice kind of full circle thing for me.
Right.
So yeah, and then after that, then I just worked really hard. And when you're good and you get along with people and you work hard, then they ask you to be on the next show and the next, and then that's kind of how I got started.
you kind of answered my next question there. I was going to go back a moment there and ask, like, was there that moment? Like, because a lot of times people that get involved in film, they have that moment when they're young. They just see this movie that's just like, oh my God, I want to do this. I want to be a part of something like this. Was that Terminator for you?
Absolutely. You know how, like, it's funny because when I talk to people or other filmmakers, it's a lot of times it's Star Wars, right? And I'm no denying Star Wars is, I mean,
Okay.
but for me, like what made me, Star Wars made me a fan of movies, honestly, right? But like as far as being involved with film, it was Terminator, because what happened was after I saw that movie, I'm like 9 years old, right? And I'm watching it. My dad had a kind of like black box that stole the signal thing, and he recorded it on a tape. So that's how I watched it. So I didn't even see the beginning of it for like a long time. I just saw Kyle Reese like arrive, and that's when it started for me. Like when you were little and that's all you had. And so I didn't see it until a little older. Anyway, the point is, after I saw that show, I was very much inspired when I found out that, not only did the guy direct it, he wrote the story, he designed the Terminator robot, and I was like, wow, there's a job that lets you do all that. That made me fall in love with it, because as a 80s kid and raised by a single mom, we're broken, so all there is paper. So I'm drawing, I'm writing, I'm killing time that way, and so that really inspired me to Terminator, because it's like, I get to write my stories and I get to draw the characters, and so that's how I found my inspiration.
It sounds like it was kismet, because I mean, to go from that to one of the big first projects you worked on being Terminator Salvation. I mean, that's just, and from there we go to Transformers, to Pirates of the Caribbean, to Iron Man 3. Like
wow. And listen, so I'm the nerd here, like the RatG TV, Ryan's All Things Geek, but Iron Man 3 gets so much freaking hate. And I got to tell you, it may be my favorite out of all the movies.
Shane Black.
Iron Man 1.
I mean, come on.
Great, but it's Shane Black. I mean,
Shane Black.
You like Lethal Weapon,
Shane Black.
Exactly. I mean, it's just a buddy cop movie at its finest. And then it deals with mental issues as well, because he's dealing with PTSD.
The depiction of the PTSD is awesome. Yes, absolutely.
It's such a the scene, and I'm just nerding out. My entire favorite scene in that whole movie is where Tony's locked up with the bad guys, and he's waiting for his armor to get there, and finally
that's perfect.
They're getting there, and then he shoots everybody, and then the last guy's like, "Whoa, I don't even like these guys."
You nailed it. That's my favorite too, because what I love about that is that anyone can take down the bad guys when they're Iron Man all full, but this was kind of neat to see him with just a piece of Iron Man. Look at what he can do, and look at and it was a great excuse to do a lot of ballet like flying gags. Right. So that I like.
Some great.
Yeah, no, I'm right with you. I'm right there with you.
It's such a good movie, and there's so many of these movies are just iconic, especially in our world. And it feels like maybe the pop culture phenom is kind of slowing down a little bit, but what is it like to be able to be a part of all of it while it's in its height?
It's great, obviously. But when you're in a professional environment, you're not really allowed to nerd out hardcore. Right. Because here's the thing. No one is there working late hours, working really hard on a specific shot, and not a fan on the inside somewhere. Right. So but there's also the professional side. So no matter what gets put in front of you, no matter if it's Captain America or a squid for an ad or whatever, you always do your absolute, best. You bring your skills to the table, so to speak. So I guess to answer your question, it's fun, but it's kind of like it's a job too. Does that make sense? So you keep the excitement on the inside.
Good answer.
Talking about excitement, again, being an 80s kid, you got to work on the RoboCop remake, which I absolutely love.
Yes. That was that.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just that one was we worked particularly hard on that one, so you gave me a little PTSD on that. But go ahead. Was that?
No, it was fantastic. And then we talked a little bit before we went live here about working on The Hateful Eight. And I mean, just to get to touch something that Quentin Tarantino has done. You know, we're all about of the same age, and we were talking about Reservoir Dogs, and just, you know, just such a fantastic filmmaker. What was that experience like for you?
It was, I mean, great. I mean, when you say what was the experience like, I think of a lot of late nights. I think about a lot of phone calls to my wife saying I'm not going to be home for dinner. No, it was great. It was great because honestly, you know, Tarantino's one of my heroes. So you relish the opportunity to just even touch like anything that of your heroes. So no, obviously very honored, very privileged, and you just do your best. But like I said before, it is a job. So it's kind of funny. It's like you're working too hard to geek out, if that makes any sense.
No, for sure.
Okay. Because
it's like you hear athletes say that though too. Like once they make it into the bigs or into the pros, they're like, or they used to say this in football when we played like high school. You know, if you get a touchdown, our coach would always be like, act like you've been there before. You know, like,
you're like, okay, it's like when you said that, what came to mind was, you do a touchdown. Now there's always another shot. So there's always another touchdown. Does that make sense?
Yeah, true. Luke says, sorry, didn't know you were on the new RoboCop. I thought it was awesome. And like Ryan and Steve, we were there for the original, which was awesome.
Mind you, though, it's not like we're involved with the writing and the editing. We just work on the effects. And then a lot of times people go, oh, how come that show the effects were awesome and how that show the effects suck? And it's funny because show to show, assignment to assignment, even shot to shot, you may not get all the time that you want to pour into a particular thing. They might just, force you to put your pencil down, so to speak, and then that's all you get, I
heard that was I heard that was a big problem with one of the reported problems coming out of Disney before Iger came back was that they had promised their effects team to too many different projects. So before they were done doing, say, She-Hulk or whatever, they'd have to wrap up and go work on the next project.
That's what happens. It's a business, and so you don't, you're, as the artist, you just get paid for the, as much time as you can work. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
When did the dream to start directing manifest?
As soon as I saw that Terminator movie. So 9 years old.
That was always the goal.
Yeah. Oh, always. Like, I knew I wanted to be involved somehow. Right. So, fortunately for me, once I started working as a VFX artist, then I could take some of that, some of the money I was making towards buying gear. And I was just around that time where the gear was starting to get more sophisticated and cheaper. So it's just kind of like it's just a funny kind of way how it kind of shook out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I always wanted, like, after I shot my thesis film on 35 milli film, like that's how I look. I feel like that was just
generation.
Because around that time, like I remember my DP telling me very prophetically saying, he's like, Kenny, after this year, no TV is going to be on film. It's all going to be digital. And I was like, you're crazy. Yeah. And then it was totally right. He's totally right. And now we're all digital now. Yep. It's all digital, except for Oppenheimer, I guess. But
you're trying to tell everybody
we all can't do IMAX.
It's like you've tried to tell everybody about electric cars. We can try to fight it as much as we want, but it's here.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you said, like, you didn't write it, you didn't direct it, you didn't do, but all these movies you worked on. But the digital effects have come so far. It's become such a. I think we were marveled by it during the Jurassic Parks of the early '90s and stuff, and then somewhere in between there and probably 10 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago, I think we just stopped going, oh my God, like how amazing was that? How did they do that? How did they make it look like that? Now we just, not take it for granted, but it's just, it's so ultra realistic now.
No, Steve, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think it is exactly take it for granted. I think it's kind of like, oh yeah, well, it's supposed to be like that. You know what I mean? Like we have this attitude like, well, yeah, and in fact, I actually am very heartened by this kind of more younger generation that is looking back at the, it's like I laugh because I'll see articles on YouTube and it'll be like, oh, have you guys been sleeping on this show called The Thing? And I'm like, I was there for it. I'm not sleeping on The Thing. No one's sleeping on The Thing. But, I love that this younger generation has really, because when I was growing up, you were like, okay, you suspend your disbelief. You can see that it's a rubber this or that, but, you admire what it's depicting and you're genuinely scared anyway. You watch Alien and you're like, yeah, it's a dude in a suit, but it's messed up. Look at it. Right. So I love that I see these younger kind of artists and fans are like, no, they respect and admire and are fans of the practical. Like they don't mind seeing the wires and the rough edges. And so it's fascinating what you say about, oh yeah, they take it for granted. And it's true. It's like, oh yeah, okay, it's CGI. They just, it's CGI in their head. And but not all CGI is created equal. And I love that nowadays we appreciate when things are more tactile and more organic, so to speak.
Yeah. It's weird because you see it used more often in everything. Like even I was surprised to hear on the show Arrow, every arrow he fires is CG, like every single one. I don't think he's ever fired a real arrow on that show.
Well, that might be a safety thing because maybe he sucks and like he'll hurt someone, I don't
know. He's a Canadian boy. I don't know, from Toronto, which means he's cocky. So even if he does suck, he'll never admit it.
So we're right before we get to your feature here, Artists in Agony. Your direct shorts. Tell us about that.
I mean, so I guess what do you want to know? It's a lot. There's a lot.
What was the fun? Just wearing all the hat. How many hats did you wear? Like how hard was that to get that off the ground? Just even to put a short together?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, so my first major short, the one about Red Riding Hood, putting the Big Bad Wolf on trial. So that one was done in college, and then afterwards, I thought, oh, that's my big splash. I'm just gonna sit and wait for offers now, right? People are gonna offer me, films to direct now, and no, that's not the case at all. So I found okay, well then. I still want to shoot. I'm tired of not shooting. Camera gear is starting to get a little bit more better and more available to consumers. So then I just starting. And so I started shooting just little, and it's funny because nowadays there's a part of me that's so envious of today's generation because I've seen some brilliant things done with shot on a phone. Little TikTok skits and whatnot. And there's part of me that's, I sound old, right? But I'm jealous. Look at what you guys get to do. Because when I started out, I just, grabbed a camera, grab a buddy who's an actor, and then just, start shooting stuff and then start to learn how to edit my own stuff and then start to learn how to sound design my own stuff. And so you just start to kind of, and the equipment and the programs start to get more and more, I don't want to sound weird, but just, it starts to get more available. And so then it just starts becoming a thing more about information. And then on YouTube, now information's kind of free because there's 500 people that will tell you how to fry rice now. You know what I'm saying? So it's so if I want to learn how to do something, it's kind of great. It seems more democratized because I was just around that age where film was kind of gate kept by cost and by knowledge, and now those gates are kind of now looser. So to answer your question, I just started shooting, and then and I've wanted to hone my voice and try different genres, and so that's what you're seeing me do is with each short try to learn a new program, learn a new camera, or work with a new actor, or try a new genre.
So you're definitely right about the technology and just the cost. Because I mean, if we had these kind of phones 20 years prior, I would have been Johnny Knoxville.
And people, you
Ken's fine, by the way.
Just saying.
Luke.
Hold my beer. Watch this.
Luke says, what's your favorite project, Ken? Can I call you Ken? I did.
You can call me Ken. Of mine?
Yeah, I think that means.
Oh, my feature. that's my favorite.
Let's not keep people waiting. Tell us about your feature.
Well, it's a mockumentary comedy. in the vein of like Spinal Tap, only instead of following heavy metal rockers, we follow hitmen. And so I always thought it would be funny to do that because, we always see, like, whenever we see hitmen, they're cool and slick, right? Like, oh, it's cool to be a hitman. So with this piece, I thought it'd be fun to explore something that I have never seen before, which is bungling, like, hitmen that are full of themselves. And I thought, oh, this is a perfect kind of container project-wise that could, like, I could explore all kinds of things. I could poke fun at fandom. I could poke fun at violence. I could poke fun at documentaries themselves. So it's a satire. So I thought it was just fun to kind of have a container that any idea I could, or any actor I felt like working with, I can just have them in there. And if they flaked or were weird, I could just kill them off. That's also, that could be part of it too. So it was a challenging project, but very malleable, and just something that I felt like, could be a lot of fun, because it's like, we basically treated it like no one was looking, right? Like, okay, is anyone going to think this is funny? But I think it's funny. And the result is a very dark, violent, weird, madcap project. So.
Yeah, you mentioned like bumbling assassins, and but it's played so straight, and that's what's funny, and I think that's what all like great mockumentaries, when you play it straight, but it's just so imbecilic and just off the wall and so crazy. I mean, that must have been a lot of fun to take liberties and, like you said, just kind of on the fly. And
it is, and I'm very heartened that it's now finding its audience, because, like, for some people it's really not their cup of tea, but I really love when people get it, when people really get the joke. Is exactly what you said, which is that, the dry, no winking kind of like the movie itself is tongue in cheek, but the people in the universe don't flinch, and I think that's, while ridiculous stuff is like happening in the background, like kind of gag, like the way Zuckers kind of have like the Zuckers have that kind of something ridiculous is happening in the background where the guy in front is very serious. And, so I always wanted to do something like that. So it has a lot of, my shout outs to my heroes in it. A lot of DNA, a lot of Mel Brooks. There's Zucker brothers in there. You know what I mean? There's Farrelly brothers in there. There's all kinds of, but of course with myself in there as well. Some new ideas too. So.
Love it. Love it.
No, I definitely see it. I think my favorite scene.
Sorry, Luke says, I don't know if I don't know it, but I'll watch for sure. Brilliant. Do you know Blumhouse? Work with them. They rule.
Luke is a big fan of Blumhouse.
Oh yeah, I don't blame him.
As we all
are. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And if you do, can you make the horror movie that we've been wanting made, a Blumhouse movie forever, starring our mascot Clanny the Clan Shark?
I'm working on it as we speak.
Yes, Clan Shark.
I'm inspired.
Clan Shark returns, also starring.
I was going to say, I think my favorite scene in the movie, and you mentioned all those nods and all those things, just your childhood coming out in the picture, being of the same age. I definitely, they hit those marks with me because I think maybe because I grew up in that same time and I got those jokes. And I think my favorite one was when one of the assassins, he thinks that his wife was cheating on him when she was actually interviewing for a nanny. And he walks just right over the car, no questions, just boom, shoots her right in the face. He gets in, is having this whole, and then the phone rings, and it's the wife, and this whole thing is playing out, and all of a sudden the camera just turns to the cab driver that's just covered in brains, and he's like, "You're handling this all pretty well."
Fun fact, that's the editor, by the way. That's the editor, and the nanny is his wife. So it's a family affair. This whole project involved everyone we know, friends we didn't make yet, their dogs, their apartments, their pets, their children. So it was very much a homemade family effort. That's one of my favorite scenes too. It's just, and it was, I have to give props to the actor Jason Frost, who plays the assassin in that scene, because I think that's the gag, is that you get so involved in the phone call with the wife, because they're literally having a divorce right in front of you. Their marriage is disintegrating right in front of you as the cameras roll. And it's hysterical, because that's a testament to Jason's acting, because you're kind of getting involved in the phone call and you forget, when we swing.
This is a cab. This is the backseat of a cab.
And my wife was in charge of bloodying up because she, the gag is that he has to look like he has to look crazy, right? Yeah. And so, she was kind of making up some brain matter here and all kinds of,
Damn.
But that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes as well.
So we showed the banner here earlier. You can go to artisanagony.com.
And you can watch it for free. It's on Tubi for free.
Oh,
so
there you go.
So no excuses.
There's no excuses. I'm talking to you, Zeus.
Is there anything you can tell us about what you're working on next, or what you got planned for the future?
Right now, we're in super promotional mode because we're just excited about it's our first project, and we worked on it on and off like for about 8 years, like following style, like Chris Nolan. Because we're all doing full time. The actors are working full time. Everyone's working full time and just doing this, on the weekends for a few hours at a time. So we're just super proud and happy that it's now out in the world. And as far as I'm writing, always writing. So got a horror project that I'm working on that I'm excited about, and another pitch deck I'm working on for a feature that's kind of like Clerks. Remember that movie Clerks?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of. I personally feel that's my favorite like Kevin Smith movie. I think like that's like a masterpiece of grungy kind of like it's like a movie. It's like a zine. If a zine was a movie, it'd be Clerks.
We like them.
I love Clerks because it's like a sneak attack. You just didn't expect it to be that good of a meal, if you will. It's like Clerks in space. It's like Space Truckers.
Oh, nice.
So I'm working on a comedy like that. So I got 2 projects like that.
Yeah,
awesome.
We're fans of Kevin Smith and Jason.
Oh, he's definitely one of my heroes, Kevin Smith.
This is us meeting them last year.
You tell him, Steve Dave.
yeah, it was revenge for this.
Nice.
A prior meeting.
Yes.
Well, I look forward to seeing your new product for sure.
If you want to see my old stuff, you can go see them on my website, KennethLui.com. So
I mentioned the horror project. So when that comes out, I'll have to have you on my horror show.
Would love that.
Awesome.
All
Well,
right.
we want to thank you so much for coming on and
thank you.
Talking about your career and your new movie, Artist in Agony, a mockumentary. It's hilarious. Go check it out. I showed the banner there. You can go to the website. You can go to his YouTube channel. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And before we let you go, our topic today is our top 5 favorite fictional cowboys. Do you have someone to add to the list, or even a couple?
Goodness gracious. Okay, off the top of my head. See, Django. I like Django. Django rules. The Man with No Name. I mean, come on. He's Clint Eastwood. Man with No Name. Sergio Leone. Goodness gracious, on the spot. Cowboys. Those are my 2. I guess I'll just have to go with the 2. Gosh, I can't think of.
It's tough because
westerns are so broad. That you basically said, what's your gunslinging guys.
And they're almost all ensembles too, right? Like that's another thing. So I was thinking about one of my favorite. I love almost every iteration of the Magnificent Seven. But what character do you say? Because I can't really tell you any of the characters.
Are you talking about? Okay, so you're talking about the Magnificent Seven.
I'm talking about the TV show back in the day. My grandparents used to watch. I used to watch it with them. The movie with what was it? McQueen.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay. I
didn't mind the Chris Pratt one.
I didn't either. I mean, honestly, I'm a big fan of that filmmaker, and Fuqua. And it looks wonderful. And of course, who can deny Denzel as the top gunslinger guy? As far as the OG, like the Technicolor one, it's a toss up between Robert Vaughn and James Coburn. I think James Coburn was cool as hell in that movie. The knife thrower, right?
Yeah,
he's the knife throwing guy. So good. And you got to love the original, which is the Seven Samurai, because that's what they kind of was.
Samurai, yeah.
But you're right. Like they're almost always ensembles because I mean the Cowboys never went anywhere without a posse, right?
Oh, that's another great one. Posse. Mario
Posse.
Van Peebles.
Oh, Mario Van Peebles,
Oh
man.
my God. How did I? Oh, why are you just saying this now? I want to change my picks.
Wasn't his name Jesse? That's right. Wasn't his name Jesse? Something like that.
I forget. His dad directed that, though. I have to go, but I'm loving this. So thank you, Ken, Ryan, and my heterosexual buddy, Steve. Much love, guys. See you soon.
We love you,
Triple
Luke.
X. I think it's supposed to be XOXO, but with Luke, Triple X
Right.
makes more sense.
Yeah, Triple X. Yeah, he likes his whiskey. He likes his whiskey.
A real guy, but Val Kilmer.
Oh,
is not
hey,
Holiday.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
That's right.
I mean,
You ain't no Daisy.
great combo. Thanks for doing this. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Oh, Wyatt Earp. What about Kevin Costner's Wyatt Earp?
well,
That was
that's
not too
another.
bad.
That's nonfiction.
I liked. I mean,
Tombstone.
and I like Lawrence Kasdan. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm a fan of that movie. Not everyone really talks about that movie, but that iteration of Wyatt Earp, Kurt Russell's Wyatt Earp.
Yes, his was Tombstone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, his
And-
was Tombstone.
and they
then,
came
like,
out around the same time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hate
which was
when they
really
do that.
weird.
Yeah.
But no, I
His
like
was much better.
I like Costner's Wyatt Earp. And then there's also Dennis Quaid's Doc Holliday that he got all skinny for.
Yeah,
Doc Holliday is just a dope character.
he
Just
really
straight
is.
up. Because
But
you
I think
can't
Val
resist.
Kilmer
You
nailed
can't
that
resist a guy
character.
that don't give a crap. You know, you can't. You just can't.
Just kill me. Yeah, it's a great character. Great actors both played him. So yeah, that's a good one, but not fictional.
But
I know. I know.
not
I know,
fiction.
and it's almost legendary at this point. I know a lot of the stories are probably been embellished a lot, but hey, listen.
I guess, but
I don't
like-
make the rule. Well, I do, but
Now here's the thing: like between Django and The Man with No Name, now that's something I don't think I can ever decide. So
I
If you
still
wanna
wanted
get-
to see. I know they did it in comic book form, but I wanted to see them do it in a movie form, and that was the crossover with Django and Zorro.
wow. Hey, does Zorro count as a cowboy? No, he doesn't do guns, huh? So probably not.
Well, he did. He did guns. He had
Zorro?
he had the little pistol. Oh
Did
yeah, I was a
he?
huge Zorro fan
A
growing
little
up.
one shot.
Yeah,
I always think of
little-
the whip and I think of the sword.
He's got the whip, the sword, and that. Not Antonio Banderas. I'm talking like basically every other one, and maybe even the gay fox.
But it is considered a western because Spielberg called it a western. So
Yeah. Definitely.
Well,
This one almost made my list, but I haven't watched enough of Justified to put him on there. But I can definitely go with Timothy Oliphant.
I know. I'm a huge
Justified.
Timothy Oliphant fan. I haven't got into this show yet. It's definitely been on my list of things to start watching. At least give it a try, anyways.
Sam says
Not to
Zorro
sound-
is totally a cowboy, just not
And-
traditional.
not to be weird, but does the Mandalorian count as a cowboy?
Yeah, I think
Is that
so.
weird?
It's a spaghetti western for sure.
There's no cows in Star Wars, but you
There's
know,
dances.
right? But a
then
bantha
he's a
boy?
bantha boy.
Is he a bantha boy?
Why does that sound like worse?
It does.
'Cause it does.
Bantha boy. I don't know. It just sounds horrible.
Because it just does.
Bantha boy.
Bantha boy. That sounds like something that would get us canceled. I don't know. No, there's so many great. There's a lot of great cowboys out there. And yeah,
Oh, how about Luke from Kung Fu? Like, is it Luke? Is that his name? From Kung Fu, the character from Kung with the flute and walking in the desert. Is that it?
yeah, David Carradine.
Yeah, but does that character count as a cowboy?
I'm gonna say no.
No, right?
No, I would say he's more of a Ronin type. You know,
But
like,
he's wandering. But isn't he kicking cowboys' asses though? Right?
well,
I don't know.
Yeah,
This
I don't
isn't
know.
just. This is. I'm just curious. I'm just.
He's more of a
I know-
littlest hobo.
All I know is this show that I have right here behind in my backdrop, Warrior. That was a concept come up by Bruce Lee,
right on.
and when he brought it to Hollywood, they're like, no, it'll never work. And then they took that script and made Kung Fu. So I'm not
Right.
a big fan of that series at all.
No, I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you. I mean, trust me. I understand all the. I could talk about Kung Fu and my problems with it, but I won't.
Oh, yeah, right,
That's
right.
another show.
Listen, Kung Fu: The Legend Continues. Not as bad for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it was because it was filmed in Toronto, but not too bad. Oh yes, entirely. Mal from Firefly, best space cowboy.
Oh wow, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Malcolm Reynolds. I'm aiming to misbehave. Steve has no idea what we're talking about right now.
I've never seen Firefly.
Oh my gosh! It's
He's
worth
the
it.
reason why he got canceled.
It's worth a. It's worth. Oh yeah, it's funny. No, it's worth. It's worth. It's
I've
worth a look.
tried. We've been doing this show since 2011, 2013, something like that. Well, I started doing it as a podcast, and then we got the radio show, and then
Maybe.
but yeah.
So, Steve, why the hesitation? Is it space? Is it what?
No, you know what it was? So that was, is it late 90s? Was it late 90s?
I want to say mid. Well, I don't know exactly.
Mid supports my excuse even better then, because in the 90s I was a frequenter of establishments with liquor, so I didn't watch a whole lot of TV. I didn't watch a whole lot of TV. Period. Really, the only show I watched dedicatedly, I would program my VCR to record every Sunday night at 9:00 was Married with Children. I never missed it.
And then we got to host their panel, which was cool. The Darcys. Yeah, that was fun. Steve got to live out his dream of. Did Amanda Burst give you a hug?
Yeah, I geeked out so bad interviewing.
So you got to touch Amy. You touched Amy.
No. What was her name?
From
No, Marcy.
No. Yeah, but he's talking
but Amy. She's Amy from Fright Night.
Fright Night.
Oh, see. So whereas I'm the geek and the pop culture guy, he's the horror guy.
Yeah.
My mom told me The Exorcist when I was 5, and I was like, yeah, I'm done.
Understandable. That's all of us.
Yeah.
I think we all can relate to that.
Then him and I think you were at Jason Grant's birthday party the one year, and they showed Nightmare on Elm Street like 3 or 4, and I watched the entire movie from like the side, and I couldn't see anything that was happening on the TV, and I was like, oh, this is great.
That's how I was when my uncle rented Alien, and watched it with his girlfriend, and I'm like 5 years old, and I'm like,
right. See, now Alien never bothered me. I don't know what it is. Like,
Alien bothered the hell out of me. So
well, it scared me, but
you're tougher than me.
I never looked at it as like a horror. I don't know why. I never look at certain, like Event Horizon.
Make the
another one I've watched a million times, and I don't find Event Horizon with that.
When you're little like I was, it didn't take much because the music is telling you how scary it is, right? Because the music is so da da da, and you're like
And Sam says Poltergeist ruined me as a 5-year-old. Thanks, Dad, for letting me watch it. Right. Another one I watched early on and didn't bother me. I don't know.
You're just too damn tough, Steve.
I'm not though. Ask him. I won't watch anything. Like I'm a puss. So
have you seen Terrifier 2? Kenneth.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No.
No. Yeah.
Terrifier?
Terrifier 2. Yeah.
No.
It was one that was out late last year, and there was reports of people puking in the aisles and running out of the theaters. And I admit, like, I'm a pretty seasoned horror guy. I watch a lot of horror stuff. Like, I love Train to Busan. Is one of my all-time fucking favorite.
It's fantastic. Train to Busan.
It is absolutely
basically
fantastic.
Set the bar for a zombie movie.
It's a film.
That is.
I won't even call that a movie. That is a zombie film.
Yeah, I will not argue. That was a really just. I got nothing to say except it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it really was.
Mandalorian, great picks. So Cad Bane fits. Firefly is great. You know what? Cad Bane does fit. How about Rick Grimes? No.
Ooh, no.
Maybe. I mean, well, Steve, you're the expert on Walking Dead.
Yeah,
like, you read every issue.
I wouldn't say cowboy. No.
No, you just had the
definitely some characteristics, but full blown cowboy, no.
But then but you'd still say Timothy Olyphant from Justified is a cowboy.
I wouldn't say no to Timothy Olyphant for anything.
Ha!
I know. Amber told me. We're like his girlfriend has always told me very often. We're like, so if you guys get the celebrity pass, who do you get? And she's like, oh, I get. I think it was Channing Tatum, and I'm like,
no, it's a guy from Vikings, Travis Fimmel. He was also a Calvin Klein underwear model.
Right. Well, and then that was yours. You suck so bad. You're my favorite.
He looks like a cuddler.
I'm sure he is a cuddler.
I like that.
I'm sure he is. Well, we're going to start doing our top 5. Kenneth, it's totally up to you. I know we've gone a little bit past longer than you wanted to, but you're more welcome to stick around, whatever you like to do.
I do. I think I need to go because I promised my wife that we go
No,
to
why are you still here?
a thing.
Why are you still here?
Because
Don't upset
I'm
the
having
wife.
fun. I'm having
Don't
fun,
upset the
but I
wife.
do have to wrap it up though. So,
Awesome. Well,
but thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for having me. It was such a pleasure,
No,
and I'm
thanks
really
for
happy
coming
that
here.
it's finding the audience. And I think you guys are it.
Well, that's amazing. Everybody, yeah, there you go. Remember, Artist in Agony. You want to find more about this, you can go to KennethLui.com or, of course, as Steve took it down, artistinagony.com. Again, Kenneth Lui, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you.
The door is always open. Feel free to come back and when you got some more time and take part in our next top 5.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Ken.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kenneth.
Appreciate it.
Bye now.
Cheers.
Awesome. That was great, eh?
Yeah, no, fantastic guy. Look forward to seeing his next projects for sure, especially something in the horror genre.
Well, I know. And Luke's like, it's got to be Blumhouse. It has to be
Right? He's like,
Blumhouse.
get on board.
Get on board or get run over. Well, there you go, folks. Great interview. Listening to your description of that movie and Kenneth as well, I'm going to check it out because that sounds like right up my alley.
Yeah,
I love that kind
I love
of
a good
tongue-in-cheek.
documentary.
Yeah, and especially when you're something like that where you're poking fun at so many different things at once, that are popular in the genre. Like the mockumentary thing's getting overdone right now, so I love that he's chosen that to be one of the things he takes aim at.
Yeah.
So very awesome. Speaking of taking aim, folks, we as we said earlier, and we got a few of you have chimed in this week. Our top 5 is top 5 favorite fictional, which means not real cowboys. We'll see how well Steve does with it.
How I do this week because I've had issues with this.
You have issues with this every time I say fictional because you
I
always put in at least one non-fictional person.
The line is blurred for me. Okay.
The line is a lot for you. Roland Deschain from the Dark Tower series. Nice. I like it. All right, Steve. As we do every week, we'll let you start off with your top 5. And who you got at number 5, buddy?
Well, at number 5, I have someone who I know for sure is fictional, only because I've never seen him at a Comic-Con appearance or an autograph signing or anything like that. So
He may be based on a real person.
right. Oh, I hate that rabbit.
That rascally rabbit.
Of course, voiced for I think almost 40 years by the great Mel Blanc, and then many others afterwards. I always loved him. He made his first appearance in 1945 on the cartoon Hair Trigger,
which was him and Bugs Bunny.
right?
I've seen that one. And for those of you that may be listening to this on the podcast, which we don't seem to do very much anymore, Steve was pointing to Yosemite Sam. This is number 5. I like that one. I can't believe I forgot Yosemite Sam. Can't go wrong with a Sam, says Sam Cannon. That is the most gun or cowboy name ever. Sam Cannon.
That is pretty good.
I reckon that is. Who you got at number 4 there?
For the same reasons as the first, again, I know he is definitely fictional. It's funny because we did Trackers last show, and I had Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2 on that list.
Yeah.
And so I thought I'd give credit to Mr. John Marston from the first Red Dead game, and of course the Undead Nightmare with the zombie version, which was just great. I absolutely love that game so much.
Yeah, I know you did. My son loves it. I have it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That and GTA, I play it so long and then I just stopped playing. I don't know why. But yeah, good pick though.
My next one was this movie came out before the internet, and it was fictional to me, and I didn't know it was based on a real dude until today.
You didn't know Billy the Kid was real? You could have went with Billy the Kid over this guy.
Well, it's not Billy the Kid. I mean, how could you have a cowboy list and not have Arkansas Dave Rudabaugh, or Dirty Dave, as the real guy was known as? Born in 1854, lived till 1886. He was part of a band of outlaws that were cattle rustlers. And, I mean, he's got one of the greatest lines in Young Guns, too, where they're reading the warrant and naming off all the names, and he hears his name called. He's like, they said my name. They said my name. And Doc looks over at him. He's like, we're real happy for you, Dave. We're about to die.
So non-fictional means they were a real person.
Right.
Fictional means they were not.
For next week.
Oh, you see what I'm dealing with here? He puts the. I do like that you're wearing the glasses this week, though.
I am. It would be a train wreck with those.
That is a great line. Yes, it is.
I can't extend any further now, so, and I don't want to be.
You don't want to be freaking everybody out with your elbow.
Right.
Who do you got up next on your next list here?
This movie, it kind of flew under the radar. I didn't hear about this movie until a few years after it was out. Fantastic movie, though. I watched it multiple times since. Just a great Western. I mean, it definitely crosses that line of, horror movie, maybe thriller for sure. Just a great cast too, as you see here. Kurt Russell.
What is this movie?
Bone Tomahawk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it, honestly.
No, yeah, it's like I said, it is kind of a horror movie, so I definitely really see why you never heard of it. But yeah, Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox, Richard Jenkins, David Arquette, Sid Haig. Just a great movie.
Yeah, that's crazy. That almost looks like Luke Wilson in the back there, behind Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah, that's yeah.
But that's not.
No, that was
Party of Five dude.
Right. Matthew Fox.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then your number one.
Yeah, probably one of my top 3 favorite Quentin Tarantino movies for sure. Jamie Foxx as the badass Django in Django Unchained.
Such a good movie. And I was trying to find his video today for my news story. I totally forgot, but he came out and spoke about his illness and, him being away and stuff, and just saying that, he's doing a lot better, but he said it was pretty close to like him saying goodbye. So
other than The Walking Dead, one of the few comic books I own and have read is one of the Django series. Yeah.
Not the Django versus Zorro though.
No, I don't have that.
I don't think they was versus. I think they're on the same team. Same side. Fighting for the same thing. Well, I like that. Django definitely deserves to be up there. I did my list a little last minute, so I kind of just went off the top of my head with who I could think of. This isn't even like we said so many now, like especially with Posse. I feel like I want to put like Mario Van Peebles here instead, because I'm not the hugest fan of this guy in the comic books, and definitely didn't like the movie with Josh Brolin, but I felt like we needed some kind of comic representation, so I went with Jonah Hex. The movie it had Megan Fox in it. I mean, it had Josh Brolin, which is great, but it had Megan Fox in it. It was good, though. Got a jet. The wife is finally ready to get a beer and shoot some pool. Thanks, guys. Great discussions. Thanks for joining, Sam. Hope to see you next. Well, we won't be on next week. I'll be working next week, so. But, we might come on maybe early. We'll see what we can do there. Number 4 on my list. I have a trio of gents here, and I guess it was a little tough to say that whether they're cowboys or not. They portrayed them like in the the Texas.
Wait a minute. They were fictional people playing real people playing cowboys.
Exactly. They was all fictional to start with. Of course, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short Marty. The Three Amigos. This was a great movie. Mind you, I haven't watched this in a minute. I wonder if it still holds up. You know what I watched the other day that still holds up?
What's that?
And I was shocked because I kept it on the entire movie. The original House Party movie.
Yeah.
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 Kid and Play.
I watched, I'm going to say the
Martin
first
Lawrence?
two, I think I watched, I'm going to say within the last 3 to 5 years. And yeah, they were still pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, I didn't watch the second one. Like they had like 4 of them on in a row. I just watched the first one.
Three for sure. Yeah, there's definitely 3. And then there was
Then
the
they
newest
just did a
with
new one. Yeah.
guys I never heard of. Take care,
All
man.
right.
Thanks,
Thanks, Sam. All right. Next up on my list, other than the Three Amigos, which was a great movie. You know, I always say that when I started off, like before comic books, I had Robin Hood, I had my Greek mythology, I had King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, I had Zorro, and then I had this guy. Ho, Silver, away! I remember watching that black and white show, not this one that we see here, with that big ass mask. That must be the original. But I remember seeing one like when we were younger that used to be on all the time. And then this cartoon, the Lone Ranger cartoon, was great. So yeah, because of that, I had to throw Lone Ranger up there. He almost made it higher on my list. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Were you a Lone Ranger guy at all or no?
Very, very young. I was, I think. Yeah. And
everybody.
I mean, that could be accredited to our very limited, TV
Selection. Yeah.
Because I mean, go back and try to watch like Rocket Robin Hood and that was one of my favorite shows.
Me too.
It's so
Me
bad.
too. So bad. But you know what I would like to see and see if it's good still, and I don't think it would be. Roger Ramjet. Roger Ramjet, he's our man, hero of our nation. For his adventures, just stay tuned, or just make sure to stay tuned to this station.
Brought to you by.
Can't remember anything, but remember that show, that theme song that I haven't heard in 30 plus years.
What's your mom's birthday again?
Whose? Who'd you say? My mom?
Yeah, your mom.
May 12th, 13th. So, I don't know. It's right around Mother's Day.
He doesn't watch, so it's okay.
It's around Mother's Day. Next up is Cad Bane. We had somebody mention him earlier from Star Wars because we had some Star Wars mention. And yeah, Cad Bane, most definitely. I think he's a cowboy, even though there are no cows that we know of in Star Wars. But Cad Bane's a badass bounty hunter. I think I personally think he's the best bounty hunter in all of Star Wars lore. Yeah, you heard me right, Boba. Because he whooped everybody's ass. He whooped everybody's ass. Saint of Killers from Preacher.
Ooh, good one.
So I thought about putting that one, and around the second or third episode of, what is that, the second season? I lost track of where I was and just never got back into it.
It is so messed up.
Well, yeah.
It is so messed up.
That's kind of what Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg do.
Yeah.
When they produce stuff, they try to find crazy shit, like The Boys. Next up, earlier I had, for number 4, I had 3 people together. This one, I've got 2 as one. And I mean, this was just a great movie. I loved this pairing. Didn't think I would like these 2 together. But before I say who they were, let me just see if you could, well, you probably see it there, but the scene that always gets me is when they're trying to get some information out of Luis Guzman. So they tie him up to a fence. They bring out a baby calf, and then they pull off Luis Guzman's pants. I'm talking about Woody Harrelson, Kiefer Sutherland in the awesome cowboy way, the cowboy way.
I thought about this one.
So good. You know what else I almost made my list? I almost put the Marlboro Man on there from Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. Sorry, I almost put the Marlboro Man on, I should say.
Yeah.
But number 1, I mean, come on. Come on. Blazing Saddles. Is it even a question here?
Nobody move.
No. What's the next line?
I don't remember. I watched it on ABC. It was about 6 minutes long.
Right. Opening credits, closing credits. Nobody move. or the sheriff gets it.
Right.
I'm sure that's what he said. Where the white women at? Such a good movie. Such a good movie. Wait, so I say it's such a good movie, but what I want to say though, in all honesty, is it's a great movie for 2 acts. And then that last act, it just goes off the rail where they're going through Hollywood sets and stuff like that. And it was all right. But everything else up to that?
You got to take the good with the bad with Mel.
Oh, I thought that was the facts of life. Thank you. Thank you. We'll be here all week. And that's our list. If there's anyone we missed, please let us know. We'll make sure to add them to the list next time we never do this. Look at my
off the floor.
Yeah. I didn't. Mom. Couldn't remember what the line was there. I knew it was delirious. Where are you, Zeus? Right here.
You're
Are
right
you saying
here.
you can't see me because of the black background? That's racist, Lenny.
Wow.
Wow. Totally kidding. Just in case anyone who's watching this thought we were serious. We're not. Very rarely ever. Before we get to the news, or before we get to Steve's movie of the week, I only have one TikToker this week, so let's check it out. Here's my TikToker of the week.
Man, what are y'all doing now?
Wasn't your door just closed?
No,
So your dad's not in here?
no, he's not.
Are you sure he's not in here?
No, Ma. Why?
Because whoever gets hit first cleans the dishes.
Well, no, I haven't seen him.
So I guess I'll be doing the dishes and I can't take you to buy your new shoes. So are you sure he's not in here?
No, Mom. I haven't seen him. Come on.
You're up.
Wow. So you sold me out for a pair of shoes? I mean, she said she was gonna buy them. That's crazy. Master Splinter over here. I tell you what, get in here and do these dishes. What? That's not fair. Hey man, life ain't fair. Snitches get dishes. Wow. Crazy.
Snitches get dishes. Love it.
If
Obviously,
you're
that was obviously a skit that they did there, but
Wait,
funny all the same. Yeah, right? You thought that was real?
again, that whole line, man.
What? No, I'm not in Toronto. No,
And I'm not in Welland. I'm just known as the Welland Wingnut.
Yeah. We're on a different plane of existence. Where is that plane of existence? No one can say. We could. We're just not allowed.
The Welland Port Wingnut just doesn't sound the same.
Well, I could tell you the plane that we're on right now is a plane that's going to save you some money. And the way they're going to save you some money is by you switching your internet provider from whoever you're with and doing yourself a favor and going to right where Steve's pointing to right there, docnet.ca. That's right. DocNet can get you set up. If you're in Canada, especially if you're in the Niagara region, go to docnet.ca and check out the deals they have for you. Get lightning quick internet at the good price. Stop paying the big companies big money. Get yourself good internet. Get yourself great internet for a great price. Go to docnet.ca and tell them RatG TV sent you and have DocNet. I'm not doing it. Connect your house to the world.
No, wait. No.
Nope. You were going to miss too.
Yeah. Glasses.
Glasses. You can't see with his glasses.
My glasses.
It's worse with them on. Well, so Steve, you got a movie this week.
I do have a movie.
What's the movie? Was it The Sound of Freedom?
No.
Too soon. Too soon.
Bird Box Barcelona debuted on Netflix some time ago. It's fairly new. I mean, I don't know. Exactly, but yeah. The sequel to the Sandra Bullock Netflix original, which was a huge hit.
Define huge.
Streaming service huge.
Was it though? So Bird Box was basically the opposite of the John Krasinski movie where they couldn't make a sound. This one,
So yeah, in that one you couldn't make a sound. In this one, you couldn't see them. If you saw them, then you would automatically just commit suicide.
Oh, nice. I mean, that sounds great. Like, great. Well, I tell you what, buddy. For those of you, anyone who's watching, if you've never watched the show before, this is Steve's 5-second movie review. What happens in this time? Steve is going to take this movie that we talked about, Bird Box Barcelona, and he is going to take 5 seconds and give us his unadulterated review of said movie. Steve, are you ready?
I am ready.
Well, that means it's time for Steve's 5-second movie review by Steve. Yeah. Just hands. Stupid mirrored image. There we go. Pointing the wrong way.
Yeah.
All right, Steve. Well, we've upped our budget this week, and we've got the best technology in the world. We are going to put 5 seconds on the board with that technology. Steve, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. 5 seconds is up on the board. You may begin now. That was 5.
I don't want to look.
You don't want to look because it was scary, or you don't want to look because it was bad?
Because the score is, how do you say in Spanish? Cero.
You gave this a 0?
I can't say that the first one survived on the star power of Miss Sandra Bullock, because who fucking hates Sandra Bullock? No one. That's who. But it was a good movie. I liked it. I really did. And it was one of those movies that didn't really explain a lot.
Mm.
And sometimes as a viewer, you don't like that. Or, in this day and age, it's the fucking prequel or the sequel or the fucking this to do that. And that's basically what this did. It would basically mirror the timeline of, there was a little bit into the future, or this apocalypse or bird apocalypse, whatever the hell they're calling it. And, then there was flashbacks to the same events unfolding in Barcelona rather than in the United States, where the first one had taken place with Sandra Bullock. But in this one, they tried to explain it, and they shouldn't have. It was first one was a good movie. I think it's stupid.
Have you ever given a 0 before?
I have.
Who was your 0 before? Do you remember?
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I have, though. I'd have to think about it.
That's insane. So, I mean, that's sad to hear, because I was definitely going to watch this until you gave it a 0. And then I found Sandy B's not in it either.
Right. Yeah. It was Speed 2 only.
With Jason Patrick instead of Kennedy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a 0 you go. There you go, folks. Take that for what you will, as we always say, go and make your own decision.
You like how they explained it?
No. You might, but you probably won't.
You might.
But you probably won't.
I'm not even going to say it, because it's the kind of thing that'll get me canceled.
On that note. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to get to the news. It's been a while, but we don't have a lot of news this week, but we do have the one thing that we seem to have every time we do this show.
And it's a pretty standard amount. We usually have at least 3.
Yeah, and this week, Dr. Death, this is no different. Who did you take this week?
Yeah, we lost Carolyn Glynn. She was 83 years old. She's known for playing Molly Ringwald's mom in 16 Candles. She was a Tony Award winner for the best little whorehouse in Texas. And she is the mother of Mary Stuart Masterson.
Oh, no. I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's how I learned today.
Oh, well, we're both learning together.
So
I mean,
condolences to Mary and her family. Next, not known for a whole lot of movies. She did star in a lot of her father's early work, or later work, sorry. Josephine Chaplin at the age of 74. She was the third of 8 kids from Charlie Chaplin. Again, she was in a bunch of his later movies as a child, and also starred in The Canterbury Tales and Jack the Ripper.
Oh, wow. Well, rest in peace. And then this one was a big one for anyone Gen X and older.
Yeah, we definitely left our hearts in San Francisco when this guy, passed on. The guy just worked so long and was still recording as far as last year until, unfortunately, he lost his battle with Alzheimer's. 96 years old, born Anthony Dominic Benedetto.
Tony Bennett.
He was an infantryman in World War II. Of course, his hit in I Left My Heart in San Francisco, it was the tip of the iceberg to start his career. So,
I mean, it was a good one, and an artist as well. A lot of people didn't know that he'd sit in Central Park almost daily and just paint. So, all right, we got a couple of people that gave us some answers on post earlier. Deanna Hurst said Woody Harrelson and Kiefer Sutherland in Cowboy Way. Drew Smith. I'll let you try and top this one, but it's impossible. Cowboy Curtis. Pee-wee's Playhouse. Sean Rose says Clint Eastwood, the man with no name. Was that his name? Yeah. Between Clint Eastwood and Charles Bronson, I don't know. I don't know about Charles Bronson. I always knew him as the Dirty Dozen and the Death Wish movies. And does Spike Spiegel count? I don't know who Spike Spiegel is. That's Robert James Cole, though.
No. Okay.
Yeah. But if he's a cowboy, sure. He counts.
Yeah.
If he's a cowboy.
All right. I forgot to mention, screw you, Dirtface Steve. I mean, Dermot Mulroney, I like you. You seem like a good guy. But when that fucking movie came out, fucking Dolson Infantino called me fucking Dirtface fucking Steve for fucking months. So
I'm not gonna lie, we still call you when you're not paying attention.
I know.
First bit of news we got today. James Cameron come out and said, I warned you guys in 1984 about AI. You didn't listen. I mean, that's what the whole strike's not the whole strike, but a big part of the strike is about that right now. AI for writing scripts, and then AI. You see what they want to do with the extras and stuff like that.
Yeah, just basically pay you for your image once, and then
use your image for forever, perpetuity.
There you go.
Shut up. It's my first day with this new mouth. How long is Bird Box Barcelona? Too long, by the sounds of it. Steve gave it a 0.
Yeah, it's a long walk. It was. I'm going to say it was an hour 45. Might be closer to 2 hours. It felt like an eternity.
Yeah. All right. Well, no need to kick a dead dog here. Let's move on to the next story. A little footy. I'm trying to do a segue.
I'll take your pass and let everybody know that welcome to Wrexham. It has a release date. It is going to be September 12th. Of course, last season we saw the journey of Rob McElhaney and Ryan Reynolds bought the franchise Wrexham, the Wrexham Greyhounds. And it had been 15 years since they had been promoted back into the English Football League. It took them 2 years. So nice. This season will be the journey of them getting promoted and the fandom that is Wrexham.
It's the real life Ted Lasso, folks.
Right.
Keeping with the sports news, and folks, don't get upset about us putting sports stuff on here. We call this All Things Geek, and we do like to talk sports on here as well because Steve and I are both huge sports fans. And I I was a big baseball fan growing up. I was a big fan up until a few years after my Cubs won the World Series, and then I haven't really watched unless. But what I have been paying attention to is one player in particular since he's made his Major League Baseball debut, and that is Shohei Ohtani, the guy that pitches and hits. And this guy, I am telling you, is the greatest player to ever play the sport. Babe Ruth had 159 home runs. Babe Ruth was also a hitter and a pitcher. He had 159 home runs in his first 674 career games. Win-loss record of 35-18 in his first 455 career innings pitched. Shohei Ohtani, on the other hand, 160 home runs in his first 674 games. Win-loss percentage of 35 wins, 19 losses in his first 455 innings pitched. This dude is just on a totally different level. You got to remember, when Babe Ruth did that, there was only white guys playing. And I'm not putting down white guys. I'm saying you only had a certain amount of players. You didn't have the greatest players of everywhere, you know? And yeah. And Shohei's doing that now with the best players from around the world playing in the
And to be fair, you know, I know people like to talk, you know, comparing eras, but I mean, Babe Ruth, you know, the difference, he would have been nothing had it not been for the hookers and the cigars
and the cocaine,
whiskey and the cocaine. I mean,
and John Goodman. Without John Goodman, the Babe would be nothing. I'm telling you.
Who are you? Noel Gallagher?
Listen, I take things to the max, or you could take things to the peacock. See what I did there? Max and peacock.
I know, and because it's my next story, I have to choose the cock in this particular incident. But the cock is look, well, you know,
not the first time.
This is true. This is true. Cock is raising their prices. It's going to be for the ads $4.99 to $5.99 difference. For the ad free $9.99 to $11.99, which is a $2 increase. But we've seen this, like we've seen Netflix has already introduced their you know, I think it's about $6 or $7 for the one with ads. Spotify's I think bumped up $1 this year. So I mean,
you don't see Lixter doing anything like that. And if I just want to put it out there for you, Steve, HBO Max dropped the HBO, so it's just Max. Peacock didn't drop the P.
They dropped the number 2.
No, they're still just Peacock.
Okay.
You can put the emphasis on the cock, but it's still Peacock.
All right.
You can be Peacock.
There you go.
Dude, I know I talk about it all the time. I know you watch it, but not as religiously as I do. Warrior, oh my God, just gets better and better every fucking week. And it looks like HBO Max has got a hit on its hand. As we see here, Stream on Max has a new king. The 3rd season of Warrior, the crime drama by Jonathan Tropper, has earned its spot thanks to its popularity in Europe and Eastern Asia. Number 1 worldwide. World fucking wide. This show is so criminally underrated, and it's my Breaking Bad. So
I'm 2 or 3 behind. I can't remember.
Oh yeah. This oh my God. And this last episode. So each season, I think it's episode 6 every season, they do an out of Chinatown episode. Like the first season, where did they go? Oh, I forget where they went. In the second season, they end up going to Mexico, though, to that fighting tournament. And yeah, and they're always these batshit crazy episodes. This time they went to 2 different locations, and it got crazy. Shannon Lee makes her return to acting in this episode too, and it was pretty badass. So yeah. Check it out, folks. If you haven't watched it, go watch Warrior. Warrior Max. Get it to the max. Max. To the max. I don't know what this next story is. I can only see the thumbnail, so I have no segue.
Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con taking place this weekend. And one of those stories was a first look at the new Saw X coming out September 29th. Of course, I know what you're thinking. He's dead. How can they be making another Saw movie? Well, this movie is going to be taking place during the events of number 1 and number 2. So we'll have him and reprising her role, as well as the heck is her name now? I had it on the tip of my tongue.
The girl from Becker.
Was it Becker? She was in that chart. She was in.
She was on Anger Management, but before
Anger
that,
Management,
she was the airhead kind of sexually promiscuous secretary. I watched that show a lot still. It was House before House. It really was. So good. What's his name? Tobin Bell?
Tobin Bell, yeah.
Yeah, he's creepy. Did you watch Spiral?
I did.
Do they connect?
Yes.
Is it the same universe?
Same universe, yes.
Okay. You're going to have to give me the... All right, do it now anyways, because it's been out for a while. Fuck those people if they haven't seen it. What's the connection there between the two? How do they connect?
So it's continuous timeline. It's after he dies and the killings have stopped for a while, and it's basically like a copycat killer starting up. And Chris Rock plays the lead detective. His father was also a police officer, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and he kind of ties into the whole thing. It was really good. I reluctantly watched it not because I don't like the Saw movies. I think for a series that has run as long as it has, and because of spoilers, but I mean these are even older. So like when you watch 3, 4, 5, or 4 and 5, I think we find out that those are happening by the end. We find out those are happening at the same time as the first couple movies. Yeah. So that was like, it was really a really well written series. I don't know. I just felt like it was going to be, and again, not that I thought it was a bad movie, but I thought it was going to be like the new Predator, which was more of a popcorn flick rather than a darker Predator movie. You know what I mean? Prey, on the other hand, totally went back to that.
I was going to say, yeah, you like Prey a lot though, right?
And I like the other one too. Yeah. The one, but again,
awesome
for different reasons.
There's nobody there. There's nobody saying this at all. Sorry. And it's just me who I think is coming out with this. I didn't see this anywhere. But, James Gunn has announced he's got Superman Legacy coming out. We found out, we talked about it, that they've got a guy from the Blacklist, Eddie, I forget his last name. He's coming in to play Mr. Terrific. We've got Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern. We've got the girl that played Dora the Explorer in the movie. Is going to be playing Hawk Girl. I think that's great. We've got our Superman. We got our Lois. We don't have our Jimmy named yet. But honestly, for me, and it could just be me, I would love to see nobody else but Skylar Giordano or G. Sardano. I think.
Bless you.
Thank you. Skylar G. Sando. He was in. You might recognize him from Santa Clarita Diet.
Yeah,
he's also in The Righteous Gemstones. I think he'd be perfect as Jimmy Olsen. I'm gonna put this out there again. Please,
let's not forget he was in the Vacation remake.
Please, let's forget that. I really begging James Gunn, please stop making gingers hate black people. Do not turn Jimmy Olsen into a black dude again. Please do not. Please, you did it in the new Superman cartoon that's out. You did it in Supergirl. If you're gonna do it with Perry White, then fine, okay. But don't do it with a ginger. There's too many times where gingers have been straight up race swap for black people, and then gingers get mad because there's not a lot of roles for gingers as it is. And then when one comes out and you change it to a black person, then they get. I'm sure they don't like it. So please. Let's give him this. I'll stick with the black Perry White if we got to. That's fine. Saying, or you could. Here's something funny. You can make a new character.
That's a novel idea.
Or hey, you could bring in the Elseworld Superman, President Superman, who's black. It's not Clark Kent. He's just a black Kryptonian a different Kryptonian that made it to Earth. Anyways, just putting that out there. Anyways, I think just for how clumsy Jimmy is and how awkward he is, this kid plays awkward and clumsy perfect in everything I've ever seen him in. Yeah. And I think he'd be a great choice.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah. I just had to exercise a few demons there with the whole ginger to.
This house is clear.
Why? Why? All right.
Because you have exorcised the demons.
I'm just going to hit the asset and just tell me when to switch to the next one.
All right.
Whoa.
Exorcist Believer, we know is coming out October 13th. We got our first look at the posters and promotional stuff being used for the film. I've heard a lot of things, like obviously it's inside stuff, and you never know. I try not to read too much into the stuff I read about production and fucking pre-screenings and fucking shit like that, because I like to have my own experience. But I'm hoping this is good. I'm hoping it's good.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it. What?
It's going to be a big crowd to please.
Yeah. Oh, especially me. They're gonna have a hard time. Literally, they're gonna have a hard time pleasing me with this one because I'm not gonna see it. When I saw these at first, I thought that was actually Reagan at first. I thought that was Linda Blair at first. I didn't know it was a new one. Whoops. That's my next story.
That's the sequel.
That is the sequel.
Already pushing the sequel.
Alrighty. And it's okay. They brought it into the world of Invincible, and why not? Invincible dropped a new trailer today for season 2, but last night they dropped a solo episode all about Adam Eve. It's her origin story. I watched it. It's an hour long, and it was good. It was good. If you've watched Invincible, I think you'll like this. You don't watch it and expect to see Invincible or any, you might see some cameos. I don't want to give any shit away, but remember, this is a show. This episode, the standalone episode, is just about Adam Eve. But it was cool, man. I learned a lot about that character I didn't know, and I really like Invincible. I thought it was a really good cartoon, and I mean, Robert Kirkman knows how to pull those emotional beats out of people, no matter what the genre is.
Ouch.
Sounds
like it hurt.
Well, I mean, as long as you're not hurting animals.
Right. I mean, when you're talking gladiator times, and Christians being fed to the lions and stuff like that, it's, it's just part of the culture. Yeah.
How did we get to that?
You don't even know
How
what I'm
did
saying.
we get to that?
Of course, Gladiator 2 from Ridley Scott is in production in Malta right now, starring Pedro Pascal. There are reports out of Malta that there's concerns over the use of wildlife animals being used on set. So we'll have to wait and see how this one unfolds. Definitely a concerning thing to be using wild animals, because, I mean, how much training, if anything, are these things going to get? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like trying to wrangle, back in the day when you used to have to wrangle the cattle. And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was bad back in the day. Like,
it was bad.
They would make the horses fall, and I'm pretty sure they would they were not nice people. Yeah. Let's just put it that way.
Well, hopefully these rumors aren't true, and if they are, then they need to get their shit together.
Yeah, because we're long
digital.
past that. We're just long past that now, honestly.
Yeah, digital. Especially when we're talking wild animals.
Yeah. And if it looks bad digital, then you're gonna have to find a different shot. Just use a different shot. That's all I'm saying. Oh my gosh, I don't know where I just put that. Sorry. I have another story here that I'm just adding right now. I don't know if you've seen this making the rounds lately. There's a rumor out there saying that Kenneth Branagh, that's right, Shakespearean actor, Shakespearean director, and the director of the first 2 Thor movies, Kenneth Branagh, they say, is going to be directing a live-action Gargoyles movie. But not so fast. Gargoyles creator Greg Wiseman took to Twitter to quickly debunk that, saying that there's no plans at all to make a live-action movie with Kenneth Branagh. I follow Greg Wiseman. He's one of the creators of the Young Justice cartoon I really like. So I'm always following to see if he's going to let us know if there's going to be a 5th season, which we still haven't gotten word whether there will or won't yet. So, I mean, no news is good news, I guess. But he's always just really straight up with his answers and really good with talking with the fans and stuff. So I tend to believe him. I can't see why Kenneth Branagh. Like maybe for like, did you ever watch Gargoyles?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely remember watching it.
So they started off in the 1500s or whatever in the Scottish territory, and then they moved. So I could see Kenneth Branagh maybe for that time period, but the rest of the show takes place in New York, like downtown New York. So I mean, I'd want a New Yorker to direct it, to be honest. But yeah, so that's it. That's not going to be happening, and that's it. You could just give it to. I'm trying to figure out a way to put it.
There's no segue to this next.
There is. You know what? I'm gonna. Going back to PETA. You know what they'd never be able to do today is a live action biker mice from Mars because you couldn't put the mice on the bikes.
Those would be some freakishly steroidal DNA genetically modified mice for sure.
Exactly.
Mixed with DNA from Charlie Hunnam.
Wait, is he in it too?
No, but he was in Sons of Anarchy. So
okay.
Biker Mike from Mars. If you know, there was a show that ran 3 seasons, started in 1993. Biker Mice from Mars. Ryan Reynolds is now tied to the project. He's going to be a co-producer.
Shut the front door. Okay, I might be interested now. I like the show. I liked it when I was a kid. Well, when we were like 15, and probably shouldn't have been watching it, but whatever. I wasn't 15 yet. I was 15 in 95. So,
there you go.
I was at a good age to keep watching that. Yeah.
Finish it.
So if he's doing this, does that mean Ryan Reynolds do Battletoads? Do cops. Not bad boys, but remember cops. The big black cop with the glass. Yeah. Do that. Or Mask. Oh, I'm just going crazy now. Mask was good too.
How have we not had and I wasn't a huge fan. I did watch it, but how have we not had a live action Thundercats movie yet?
You don't remember that trailer they put together a long time ago, and it was just clips of
cats.
It was of Troy. No, the movie Troy and Pitch Black, and it was fucking dope. I'm gonna see if I can find it, but that was a good one. And you're right. I don't know how we haven't done that yet because they really should have. I'm sorry. I'm just getting something here for us. Couple things.
Who plays Lionel?
Who plays Lionel? Nowadays? Wow, you need somebody young. Oh. And someone who can handle a sword? Henry Cavill?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, he's youngish, 40s. And he was on The Witcher, so we know he could handle a sword. But yeah, I don't know. Who would you put as Lionel?
Yeah, that's because I mean it would be basically half like prosthetic, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but a lot of makeup too.
Yeah. So not so much for look because they can make them look like them, but yeah, just acting and stature wise, man, I don't know.
I don't know. I like honestly, I like the way they did it in the YouTube video. I'm just seeing if I can find it here. Because now the interest is there. I've teased it too much, so now I got to find it. Sorry. Thundercats. Thundercats. Here we go.
Yeah, say it 3 times. That's why. Then it appears.
That's what the problem was. Okay, 1 second. That's right. There's 2 ads, so it gives me time. Can you hear both ads?
I can.
You're welcome. Why can't I do that? There we go. Here we go. The following fake preview has been approved. Can you see this? Oh, you can't see it.
No, it's not. Yeah, there you go.
The Eye of Thunder.
The Lord of the Rings.
The nobles gathered here, Panthro, Chitara,
Riddick.
Tigra, will be teaching
X-Men.
the skills you need to rule wisely and well. Thundera is gone, but the code of Thundera will live as long as you, as Lord of the Thundercats, carry it in your heart.
Lord Lion-O spent 10 galacto years in a suspension capsule. He grew in size, but he did not grow up. I'm not a kid anymore.
Knew I wasn't going to like you.
Snarf is Garfield.
We stand together.
Are you with me?
And no man forgets how menacing we are. We are lions.
Thunder! 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 Thundercats!
Spy Kids.
Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumbra, the ever-living. Arm yourselves.
Lionel's in trouble.
Before my time is done, I will look down on your corpse and smile.
It's an animal thing.
Yo,
Watch it.
I need it. I need that movie. It did look good though, right? Like, I mean, if they could have made it back then, I'm down with almost all of that casting. I'd even be okay with the Spy Kids. They weren't bad. Last story. Oh shit. I didn't get this one either. You saw that picture of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman as Deadpool and Wolverine in their outfit. Oh, here it is. And some people were complaining, saying it's not quite comic accurate Wolverine. Like, where's his mask and why is his arm showing? So I guess, you know, with the strike going on, they had some time to go back and mess with this in the effects department. And we've got a new image released, more comic accurate. Just saying.
There you go.
There you go, you comic purist.
And I'm not going to say the joke I have.
Why? Now we got to hear it.
Nope.
Oh, they're not.
You got to go to our Patreon.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh my god, I accidentally got rid of it. Oh, and I wanted to show our buddy this, Kenneth, when he was here. So I did that audition for wrestling, for a wrestling commercial. And in the audition, they're like, oh, just you go through the motions, and you know, at one point you just pretend that you get slammed through a table, blah blah blah. Now in an audition, you just read against a blank wall and you read your lines, and you don't do the actions, right? But your boy, this happened. I did this 3 times. The first time was the one that we went with the audition. The other 2 were just the ones that killed me.
Dr. Dementor? Not even a real doctor.
And the one thing that you can learn from all of that, folks, is don't do crack. You see my butt crack a lot. I've lost weight. I can't help it. I had to buy a new belt today. Didn't have it then. I'm pretty sure that made my diverticulitis explode in my belly, though. But yeah, so good news. They called me back. Get to do it some more. And now they think I'm willing to do that stuff, which is even worse, I think.
Don't worry. I'll put something nice on your tombstone.
Thank you. He should have said no. He should have said no. What do you got going on this week? Anything coming up? Any concerts? Anything?
Yeah, like I said, it's been I haven't seen anything this year. Usually my summer it kicks off, March, April.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had nothing all year. We're gonna go to Canal Days, probably check out Sam Roberts. 2 weeks this weekend.
Yep.
2 weeks today. 2 weeks.
Colburn.
Yeah. And then that whole week, then I got Godsmacked with Stained on Tuesday and Pantera on Saturday.
What do you say? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's been over 8,000 days since I last saw them. So
yeah, I saw that.
I'm pretty stoked.
Not that you're counting, but
yeah. Yeah, and then Eric Clapton and Zombie, Alice Cooper Ministry in September, and 50 Cent.
Busy.
That's my summer.
Nice.
All packed into like 6 weeks.
Do you see a point in your life where you stop going to concerts?
Yes, when Gwar is doing an acoustic set at Massey Hall.
Are you ever gonna have the Danny Glover moment though? Or are you gonna be like, I'm just too old for this shit?
Yeah, I've been back and forth with because it's a weird setting for Pantera to be playing, the Budweiser stage. I've only ever had to sit in a seat to see them one time, and that's when they opened up for Black Sabbath at Skydome. They had seats, so it was like, to see them and not mosh almost seems like a sin. But I'm hoping there's going to be some circles forming up there on that lawn, and
I'm sure there will.
I will be the first one in. Hopefully Pop will get some cell phone footage of it.
Again, great acting with the body slam. I wasn't acting. So the spot says you're supposed to no sell those basically, and that's what I did. And oh my god, yeah. Honestly, my back and everything, not too bad. It's just like I said, my stomach's been so sore since then. I took like 7 of those. So, and I don't know if you know. So the very first one, if you notice, I post up on his belly and stuff, which is great, which is what you're supposed to do. That's the only time I do that. Every other time I'm going for his belly and I hit his leg. I think I grabbed his dick the one time. Like, I don't know. Then he's like, let's do this again. And I'm like, whoa.
And that's going to be during one of the shows on the cock?
On the cock. It's going straight to the cock. Again, there's a P in front of that cock. Not that there's a P in the cock. The P precedes the cock. Peacock.
So the cock is here, and then the P is before
everywhere else.
Right.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. No show next week, at least not next Saturday. I don't know. Steve and I will talk. Maybe we'll do it Friday or something, but no show then. You have 2 severed heads this week?
Yeah. This week we're talking the history of zombie movies.
Nice. And then I've got the Hop This Way show tomorrow. We're discussing episode 6. We almost had Brett Chan come on. I was going to surprise my co-host with that. Brett Chan is a stunt coordinator on that show, Halo, and a whole bunch of other shows. He's making his directorial debut in a new movie with Andrew Koji, which is going to be great. But with the strike, he couldn't because he had to join the union this year because he's one of the actors in the 5th or 3rd episode. They kill him though. He gets dead. But yeah. So once the strike's over, we'll have Brett back on. But that'll be tomorrow night, 9:00. You won't see it here, so you'll have to go watch it on YouTube on the Hop This Way channel. And yeah, I think you guys will enjoy it. Anyways, that's it for me. That's it for the Well and Wingnet. Hope you all had a great time. For me, for him. Peace out and go get slammed.
Dr. Dementor? Not even a real doctor.